Today we're going to be drawing a mountain scene, and I have two versions, one without color and one with color. To start, we're going to be drawing an organic line from the middle of the paper to the right, and then in the middle of that line, we're going to draw a line to the left, and then somewhere in the middle of that line, we're going to draw another line to the right, but I'm going to add another line because I thought that would be too big, and I made another little hill going to the right. And so you're just trying to vary up the negative space, is all that background space, and adding some very wiggly organic lines to fill up all of that negative space. And towards the top, I'm going to be tracing a circle, and this is going to be the sun setting or rising. And then we are going to add some shadow lines, and these lines are going to be on the mountainside, away from the light source, which is the sun that is either setting or rising. And so there's going to be some shadows on the mountains. And so they're just organic wavy lines that I'm going to be adding some more lines inside and having fun just drawing. I hope you have fun. So I'm just drawing these organic lines in the contours of the shadow, trying to create some variety with the mountains so it's not so white and contrast and stark with the, I don't know if it's snow. I'm inspired by the winter. I used to live in Colorado, so I guess I have mountains on the brain. Now I'm going to draw some evergreen trees, and towards the bottom of the page is the foreground, and things in the foreground that are closer to you tend to be bigger. And then I'm going to draw a tree that's kind of medium sized, and that's in the middle ground, and that's a little bit smaller than the foreground, so it's getting off into the distance. And then I want to see some smaller trees off in the background the further away you get up towards the middle of the paper, towards the top of the paper. Those trees get teeny tiny off in the distance because that is the background. So the sun is the only thing that I felt like coloring. This could be the moon. So I'm just going to color this one thing in this picture and leave it black and white. And then I'm going to be doing this again in color. If you keep watching the video, you'll see a color version with markers. Have fun making your winter-inspired mountain scene. Round 2 in color this time. So I'm going to add my organic wavy lines from the middle of the paper going to the right, and then from the middle of that line going to the left, and somewhere in the middle of that line going to the right again, and maybe another mountain coming from the middle of that, and just taking up all of this background space. And these mountains are getting bigger off in the distance. They're getting farther away, but they are giant mountains. Here we go with the shadows. So this is going to be away from the light source. I'm drawing some organic wavy lines going in the middle of the mountainside all the way down, and I'm going to fill it in with shadows. These are just contour lines to show how rocky the surface is. and just have fun making your lines. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just a matter of creating some contrast with the white snow on the other side of the mountain, or just how the light is shining on the mountainside, which side is being lit and which side is the dark side. Now, to keep my table clean from coloring it with markers, I'm going to put a scrap piece of paper underneath so that when I color, any markers that go off the edge of the paper just go onto the paper instead of to the table. Now I'm going to use darker colors to color the mountains towards the bottom of the page in the foreground, and the farther away I get, the mountains off in the distance are harder to see and they're hazy, and they're going to be lighter off in the distance. Now you can be done if you like your mountain scene, or you can add some evergreen trees, smaller off in the distance and larger close in the foreground.